a dilemma as old as the automobile itself. Buy new or used? Our biz doc Nick Bontis tackles the question and drives home some good advice. All right, buy new or buy used? I mean, the financial implications alone leave your head spinning sometimes.
Yeah, it's difficult because even with new cars, everybody says as soon as you drive it off the lot, the second you drive it out, boom, resale value goes down or depreciation. They say 20–25% right off the bat. So used cars are actually a good opportunity from a financial perspective. And the real sweet spot, Connie, is about a year to 2 years old. That's the sweet spot in terms of a used car. And the reasons for that is it hasn't still lost all its value. It's still of high quality. Most cars that are built today are of high quality, so it's not going to fall apart on you. And the most important thing, Connie, is when it's only 1 or 2 years old, it still has 2 years of warranty left. So that's why you can feel comfortable. You don't have to worry that the thing is going to fall apart. It's still under warranty. So you've been safeguarded as well in terms of repairs, because that can be also a huge financial burden.
So you should always test drive those, shouldn't you?
Absolutely. Test driving is critical. So in terms of test driving, a couple things we need to remember. Number one, always drive the car twice. Drive it during the day in the light, and then drive it at night in the dark. Most people never do the second one. A car is totally different at night with the dashboard lights and the quality of lights. For example, are you comfortable with the power of the headlights, being further ahead of you when you're driving? If you don't drive the car at night, you're never going to know. The second thing is, at least on one of those 2 test drives during the day or at night, bring somebody with you who's a professional. And this is the real secret. Some of us have friends who are mechanics if we're very, very lucky. And if you don't have a friend who's a mechanic, perhaps you have a friend who loves cars, who understands all the intricacies of cars.
And would notice these little things.
That's right, because if you don't know what to look for, the salesman, he's scoped you out. So he knows you don't know what you're looking for. Bring a friend, because the friend can help ask questions on your behalf. So that's really the critical thing, is making sure that you drive during the day, at night, one of those 2 drives as a professional. And the last one, when you go on the test drive, make sure you do 2 types. One is the in-city driving, the stop sign, the parking, but you have to go on the highway, because a car reacts differently once you're going past 100 or 110 kilometers an hour. Are there shakes? Are there rattles? Are there rolls? Is it drifting one way or the other? And if you've only done a test drive, in the local community, you will have never known how it drives on the highway.
Well, that leads me to my next question. What are the biggest mistakes people make when buying used?
Okay, a couple tips. First tip, a VIN number is a vehicle identification number. Every car has a sticker that says what the VIN number is of the car. Now, this sticker appears in cars in 11 places. Most people know there's a VIN on the dash, right? There's a VIN in the door when it opens. There's a VIN on the rim in the trunk. There's a VIN underneath the hood. What you need to do when you inspect the car is look at all the VIN stickers. You should find 11 of them, and all the VIN numbers need to be the same. Because if you find on the back bumper that it's either missing the VIN sticker or the VIN number is different, guess what you just learned about that car?
It's got a new bumper.
That's right, that car got replaced with a new bumper. So that's tip number 1, check out those VIN stickers. Tip number 2 has to do with lights. When you turn a car on, there's 3 lights that have to come on right away. Engine brakes, the check the engine light, and the airbag light. So brakes, airbag, and check the engine. Those lights typically flash on for 1 second, and then they flash off. Make sure you see that they actually flashed on and flashed off. If the check engine light or the brakes or the ABS did not flash on, guess what they did? They tampered with the lights, and they actually turned them off permanently.
That's no fair.
It's not fair. That's why these are tips.
All about?
That's right. So very important tips.
Okay, I'm still trying to count out all the 11 VIN numbers where they'd be. Okay, the loonies at par with US dollar.
Right.
So what about the option of importing?
Yes.
Is that
it's a very viable option.
Idea?
Cars are more expensive in Canada. It's true. Taxes, tariffs, bottom line. You can have the exact same car. It could be thousands of dollars more. Importing a car is not as painful as it used to be. First thing is there's a website available for everybody. It's riv.ca. Registration of Imported Vehicles write that one down, and it gives you a step-by-step guide on what it takes to import a vehicle. So clearly, for a lot of the border towns as Canadians, it doesn't take much effort for people in Southern Ontario to go to Buffalo, or to go to Detroit, or in Vancouver to go to Seattle, and look around the car lots and see the car that you want. Test drive it, do all the same things. Follow the steps of how to import that vehicle. There's a couple of implications in terms of daytime running lights that the car requires in Canada that it may not have in the U.S. And also special seat belts, those anchor seat belts for babies that cars have in Canada that they don't necessarily have in the U.S. But those are very, very simple maintenance packages. They're not that expensive to fix, and you can save a huge amount of dollars. In fact, Connie, my family has imported 2 vehicles from the U.S. in the last 5 years.
Dr. Nick Bontis. You've
So there
got
is
quite a story about
there is
that.
money to be saved. You have to be very, very careful, but it can be done, and you can save a huge amount of money. So when you're doing your search for buying used cars, don't just concentrate on the Canadian marketplace. Also go to some of the U.S. marketplace dealers. Look up on eBay Motors in terms of websites, because you might find a better deal.
And check out those VIN numbers, all
That's
11 of them. All
That's
right,
right.
Dr. Nick, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.